Well, hello and welcome again to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. My name is Pete Connor. I'm your show's host on this Monday, June 5th of 2017. We've got a full host of good information today to share with you on some important things that are happening here in Steele County. And we're going to be dealing with that very quickly with the Coordinated Response Team on Domestic Violence with Honorable Karen Duncan, a 3rd District Judge, as well as Assistant County Attorney Laura Isenor, who will be talking about that program. And then we'll have The Power of the Purse with Tanya Paley and Julie Rethemeier, and they'll tell us about what that is. As a reminder, we do appreciate your input about what you would like to see on Owatonna Today. If you have any events that you'd like to have some publicity on, or if you have a person that you think needs some recognition, why don't you let us know of those things by shooting an email to owatonnatoday@charter.net or by giving Leanne a call at 390-5751. Now we're going to take a quick break for some messages from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Honorable Duncan and Assistant County Attorney Isenor. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Giltvet.
And I'm Dr. Nick Vincelli of Horizon Eye Care.
We want you to see what you love and love how you see. We're proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
I needed more than just another dead-end job. I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
With the kids off to college, I decided it was time for me to go back to work and express myself.
Express got me in touch with some really great companies. Now, I'm on my way to a great career.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, and a good welcome to Judge Karen and Laura Isenor to talk about a very important part of what's happening in Steele County, especially on the judicial front. And so welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here.
Thank
you. We're going to be talking a little, I suppose in a way it's not something that's, we like to talk about nice things, but maybe this isn't always so nice that we talk about domestic violence. Except for when maybe it's corrected. So before we get to that, though, let's talk a little bit about you two, in terms of your involvement with this program. Judge, this program has been on for a number of years now?
Actually, this is about a year-old program, and we're still in the planning and the learning phase. So that's a lot of what we're doing. And along the way, of course, as we're learning a little bit more about who's doing what and who's not doing what we thought they were doing, we're able to make some quick fixes, but it'll be a few more months before we can really dig into the remedies that we need to implement.
Yeah, oh dear. And Laura, you're a prosecutor, so obviously you work hand in hand with the court. You're bringing things to the court. How did you become involved in this particular program?
Sure. So the judge and I have been talking about doing a domestic violence court. We're not quite there yet with financing and getting all the players involved, so one of the kind of preliminary steps in moving forward with that was to unite all of the different agencies, entities that are involved with domestic violence in this county and start a conversation and find out where the holes are in our system to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the victims as well as the offenders that are involved with these crimes.
Okay, so when you talk about agencies such as?
Well, for example, we have public health involved, as well as all the law enforcement agencies have been invited. So the Steele County Sheriff's Office, of course, OPD, probation. We've also invited people from the schools to come since they see a lot of the kids that are in the homes with these incidences. And I don't know if I can
providers of mental health services, as well as chemical dependency, folks who do some intervention work there.
Sure.
So we want to be able to look at these families as a whole unit and ultimately be able to address what they need in order to not come back into the system to have a healthier, safer home environment.
Sure. When you talk about the size, if we talk about the size of this issue, of this problem, what are we talking about in Steele County? What impact is this having, domestic violence in our county?
We can talk about the tip of the iceberg. So we've got over 1,000 domestic-related reports each year to law enforcement. And we know that domestic violence is probably one of the most underreported crimes that occurs. You know, people are embarrassed, people are scared. There's a whole host of reasons why people don't report. But any is too many. And the collateral consequences of this problem, the statistics show that when they talk to folks where there's been an intervention, the adults in the household, 9 out of 10, say, well, the kids didn't know anything about what was going on. When the same folks talk to the children, 9 out of 10 of the children, in fact, do know what's going on. And they're scarred not only by that breach of trust between their caregivers, but also by their inability to do anything to respond or stop it. Children are trapped in that household. They don't have choices. Right. So when we look at the impact in the community, when those children get to school, can you imagine how difficult it is to focus on 2 + 2 if at home nothing is making sense? If you're always wondering when the next fight's going to break out. So we want to be able to help not only the adults in the household, but how can we get to those children? How can we make them safer so that they can thrive and learn a better way?
So when, Laura, a case is brought to your office, you know, obviously there's some, I say obviously, but you know, someone has finally made the decision to do something, okay? And maybe it's the battered one, and typically we think of the lady, the woman, which I don't suppose is 100% always. There's probably some battered men then also.
Right.
What do you do with such a person at that time?
For my role?
Yes.
So we have a victim advocate or coordinator in our office that always connects with anybody who has been reporting these crimes. So in Steele County, we have a very good system that's been implemented through statute, but it's also been enforced, which is important, that the offender or the primary aggressor in the home has been arrested. So they will appear in court the next day, and our office will reach out to the victim, the reporting victim of the incident, to make sure that they know what resources are available to them, including victim services in our county, and that they have information on the next step in the court process. My job is to read over reports that the law enforcement has typed up that night or day, and make sure that, of course, I have all the facts, all the information that I need, collect additional evidence, like such as the 911 call, and prepare the case to go to the hearing that day.
Sure. So now now we are into the system, and what happens to let's say a mother and children at that point? Do they remain in the home, or do they leave? Does the battered, the husband, leave? Is it all over the map?
Sure.
How that works?
Yes.
Yes. I'm smiling. It's of course a sensitive situation, but it's not always a clear-cut answer. So usually we'll turn to the judge or the judges, depending on who it's in front of, either Judge Steele or Judge Duncan, and give them the information that we have. Who's names on the lease? If both individuals are on the lease, then we or on the mortgage, we just provide information as best we can, and then it's up to the court to decide on what's the best course. If child protection is already involved or is going to be involved, we have that information provided to the court, and then it's up to the judges then to decide on the next step.
And I don't imagine always it ends up to be, but there's probably some at least attempt at therapy, at least some therapeutic to allow the family to stay together if things work out as we would want them to. So.
Sure. Well, and I'll let the judge talk a little bit more about maybe probation conditions there, but we always try to empower the reporting victims. So it's up to, we try not to take too much control over their lives. If there are significant concerns that they should not have contact immediately after the incident, we do suggest that to the court. But if they want to start therapy we try to give them the services to, or at least the phone numbers to start that.
Sure.
And actually, that starts at the time of the call. The Owatonna police officers are great about not only handing out the contact information for the Crisis Resource Center here, who will help victims understand what their options are, but many of the officers will actually get a victim advocate on the line, no matter what time of day or night, to hand the phone over to the reporting party then, so they can get some on-the-spot information about what they can do and what their options are.
Underlying causes, history being one perhaps, but what about alcohol, chemical dependency or chemical use kinds of things as playing into this matter?
It certainly has never been known to help improve one's judgment or one's ability to control oneself. And so that's part of what we're looking at when we're looking at those initial reports coming in. Was there some type of substance involved? Because when the judges are looking at setting conditions of release, there may or may not be a no contact order depending on what the reporting party is looking for and what the other circumstances are. But if there's issues of chemical concern, then we're strongly encouraging that people get an assessment right away, and it's a condition of release to not use or possess alcohol or controlled substances.
Sure. You indicated at the beginning that we're talking about the tip of the iceberg, so at 1,000 or so cases per year in the county might suggest what size of a potential problem. I know that's probably a guess, or but there's maybe an educated guess on it.
Statistically, 1 in 4 women will be impacted by domestic abuse, and last statistic I saw was 1 in 8 men. And so violence is a big problem, and the threat of violence is a big problem. That's why we're trying to come together as a community group to help our community be healthier and safer.
We talk about agencies, but are there other private, let's say, organizations that will play into this program as well? Non-governmental?
Sure. Well, the Crisis Resource Center, of course, has a large role involved with this.
Okay.
And we've got a private citizen representative and a victim representative on the group. We also want to work with private entities because it's going to take all of us to work on a problem that's this big.
Sure.
So once we get through our mapping process of making sure we understand who's doing what, then we'll be able to reach out and bring more people in. Okay.
Finally, and somewhat quickly, success stories. Are you finding that you have success stories?
Yes. And it's wonderful when that happens.
Yes, excellent.
So we just need to increase that exponentially.
Right. That's wonderful. Well, as you continue, things will develop as they develop, and hopefully that you will make the inroads that you really are looking for, and that we can see that this problem becomes tamped down rather than to be somewhat exploded. I want to thank you for being here with us today and sharing this very important information with us and with our viewers as well, and best wishes to you both as you go forward.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. And thank you for being with us today. We're going to take a little bit of time now for some sponsor messages, and we'll be right back. So please don't go away.
Recreational fires are allowed within the Owatonna city limits. They must be contained within a fire pit or a device designed for such use, and can be 3 feet in diameter and no more than 3 feet high. They must be 25 feet from a building or combustibles. Only untreated or unpainted woods must be used. Fires must be attended by a person at all times that are capable of extinguishing the fire. This has been a safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
Hi, I'm Betsy Linger from the Owatonna Foundation. Your generosity has made Owatonna a better place to live by benefiting our community, the arts, recreation, and education. Please consider a donation today. The Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
At Triumph Graphics, we think beyond ink. That's why you should make us your source for creative concept, design, print, mail, and web. Check us out today at triumphgraphics.com.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say. a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Well, welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and a big welcome to Julie Rethemeier and Tanya Paley.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's
Nice
great to be
have
here.
you. Yeah, good. An interesting topic today. We're going to talk about books. We're going to be talking a little bit about why you're doing this.
We're going to talk about purses.
The purses.
We're going to talk about Dr. Seuss. We just have it.
Yeah, my friend, our friend, Dr. Seuss.
Exactly.
So let's talk about this power of the purse thing as to what it is and why it is. And there's Dolly Parton included in the conversation. So
Exactly. So I'll start back at the beginning,
Sure, yeah,
maybe,
do.
and then before we go forward. So the Power of the Purse, this is our 4th annual fundraising event to support Dolly Parton Imagination Library. So what this is the Women's Leadership Council, which is a subset of the United Way, has been in existence now for about 4 years, and 4 or 5 years. And we decided we wanted to do a project in the community that would really help fill a need. And so it took us some time to kind of figure out what that might be, but our leadership team decided on the Power of the Purse, or the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, which has proved to be a very, very successful and the right choice to support our community. So the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and I'll show you this little visual here, is a program that sends books to every child who's enrolled in Steele County from age 0, from birth until age 5. And so when we started, we were not sure, where it would go and how many people would sign up, and it far exceeded our expectations right out of the block. So Dolly Parton, her foundation, if you would call it, pays for all the books, but we pay for the shipping to each of the children's homes. So we are currently serving 1,100 children in Steele County who are enrolled for this program, who are getting books on a monthly basis, and then 500 have already graduated out of the program. So that's very successful.
who chooses the books, Tanya?
Yeah, well, the books are chosen by a national panel of educators and experts. So they're choosing books that are, some of the ones that we grew up on, but also some new ones, and really looking at, so each book that comes is age appropriate for that age and stage where the child is. And then it's also chosen to be a good message. So, we get the books at United Way occasionally when they are forwarded to us because somebody has moved, and it's really fun to look through the books. You're never too old for children's books.
So this is a national program.
Okay, so there's an array of books, and the Leadership Council then choose from that array?
No, it's all done through the Dolly Parton
All done.
Imagination Library. So it is a national program, and people can get signed up. We want to make sure and say that either through the hospital or the library or through United Way. There's different sign-up sheets all over. So, and at any point in time, they can sign their child up.
Completely free, we should say. Free to the families. And that's why we're here raising money, because it costs us now, we figure, about $25,000 a year to ship that many books monthly to children.
And
So
what would be kind of a close to total of books that come now into the county?
Well, there's 1,100 kids enrolled, and so they
Okay.
get one book every month.
Every month, so 12, yeah. So
12 times 1,100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do the math.
Yeah, right. Not me.
So that's why we started this annual fundraising event. This is our 4th year, called The Power of the Purse. And I like the way you said it when we first came in, and 2 purses together make more power. So the more women that we can get there, even better.
Absolutely.
So this event is next Tuesday, is June 13th, next Tuesday, at the Owatonna Country Club from 5:30 until 8. And there are still a few tickets available.
Okay, so in that event we'll have, some social, maybe some nibbles and what have you, or maybe a dinner and
Appetizers,
okay.
a silent auction, a live auction, and Tanya will talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, good. Tell us more about the event, because that's important.
Well, the event is really, I will say, it's a great cause, but it's also a really fun event it is women only. And so listeners that are not women, you can tell the women in your life. And this year, we're freshening it up just a little bit with a new theme, which is, we're calling it a Seussical Soiree. And
Say that fast.
Nice.
yeah, so yes. And so all the decorations, all the centerpieces, we have all these truffula trees at the United Way office that are pool noodles with feathers on the top, and just having fun with the Seuss theme. And then Ginny Bergerson, who is at the Owatonna People's Press, has created all of the decorations for us and donated those in kind. So I brought one of the things that she created for us. It's a painting that we're going to be auctioning off. So One Fish, Two Fish from the One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish book.
Amazing.
So we have this, we have a Cat in the Hat, we have, if you're walking past the United Way office, and I encourage you to do that between now and next Tuesday, you will see a fantastic chair that she has created. You will see many of the purses that we will be auctioning off in our silent auction. And the way that works is we generally pair, some of them are designer purses, some of them are just really fun, colorful purses for the summer. We pair those with some items, and then people bid on those in the silent auction. And we usually have quite a few, anywhere between 40 and 50 purses that are available, so you can walk away with a new purse for the summer, which is really fun too.
Tell us where the United Way office is, so that when people...
Yes. The United Way office is on Cedar. 110 North Cedar is the address, and we're right next to Costa's, and across the street from the Wells Fargo Bank in that first block before the park.
Sure.
So yeah,
That's
come
a
take a look.
good traffic spot.
And that's where you can come to get your tickets if you're interested in attending. And we do encourage, and in fact, at this point, we probably will not be able to have a lot of walk-ins that night because we have sold quite a few tickets. So we want to pack the room, but not overpack the room.
Yeah.
Well, I have to ask, because you're a staffer at United Way.
Yep.
Julie on the board?
I am on the board for United Way, but I'm also a member of the United Way leadership, the Women's Leadership Council. Yep. So there's a crew of about 12 of us that are on this planning committee putting on this event. So it's not just Tanya and I, but Tanya's part of the Women's Leadership Council as well. Not just because she's part of the staff. She's a donor as well. So it's it's donors.
And you have a purse, and you have another
purse. Exactly.
Why this particular feature? The Dolly Parton Imagination. Were there other things that you might have engaged with?
So we just heard a segment about children and how what happens in early childhood makes such a difference when they get to school. And so, of course, I think we all have heard that research, but we looked at it again to see what could we do to make a positive impact in our community. And we just know that children being ready to read, even, each year we do have, and we'll have both a teacher and a parent speak at the evening about the impact of this program. And, sometimes, and especially in this electronic age that we're in, children don't even know how to hold a book. This really is a way to make sure that all of our children have that love of reading and that experience with books. So that was that was really one of the main things that
And there's no income limits. So this is for every child in Steele County, for anyone in Steele County whose parents enroll them, and that was important to us.
And again, it's children from age
0 to age 5.
5.
Yes.
And once they're 5, then
they age out of they graduate. They graduate out of the program.
And the books are the home keeps the books.
Exactly.
Okay, so there'll be 12 books times more math.
60 bucks.
60 bucks over a period of time, which then can be handed on to
a sibling or to others. Yes. Yeah. So we really encourage people to come out Tuesday, June 13th, to our annual. This is our one and only fundraiser for this program, and so it's called the Power of the Purse. If you see one of these around town, the Seusserific story. I cannot say it, but it looks great. We want people to come out and see it and help us support this great cause. It proves to be a fun, meaningful evening every time.
And this is what, year 4? Did you say?
Year 4.
It is year 4. Julie and I started the Women's Leadership Council. Julie is no longer a chair, and I am looking to pass that on. But it's really been great the Women's Leadership Council has been behind this from the beginning, and it's a great group of women pulling this all together.
It's amazing what women can do when we
Yes,
get behind a cause.
You're making some men jealous that they can't be a part of it because they like to read and what else. And
yeah,
so
well, they can still donate.
Yeah.
They can still send in a
Support
check.
from afar.
Okay.
Yep.
Very well. Yeah.
That was my question, and if they can't make it, can they donate?
Yes.
How do they do that?
So donations can get sent to the United Way at that 110 North Cedar address or dropped off. And it would be helpful if they put power of the purse in the memo line so we know that, because we have a designated fund, this doesn't just go into the general United Way fund. This goes into a designated fund specifically for this program.
Once more before we close, date, time, place.
Tuesday, June 13th, 5:30 to 8 at the Owatonna Country Club.
Very well, and we hope
to
you
see you
stuff the rooms, and best wishes, and thanks for being here to share that with us. And best, we'll find out how you did, I'm sure, by catching up another time. So thanks, best wishes, and thank you for being with us today. We're going to now take a few minutes for words from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Hi, my name is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance. We're here to handle all your insurance needs. We are a very proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and thanks so much for staying with us. We've got some community announcements for you today. The next evening support group for caregivers assisting people with Alzheimer's or another dementia will be Tuesday, June 6th from 2017 from 6 to 7 p.m. The support group is held at the Owatonna Public Library, 105 North Elm Avenue in the third floor small conference room adjacent to the Gainey Room. More information can be gotten from Deb Gillard at 213-1305. Honoring Choices, Minnesota invites the communities of Faribault and Owatonna to attend the convenings on Tuesday, June 13th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at Medford High School. Kathy Wurzer of Minnesota Public Radio will host this free event of music, storytelling, and conversations about living and dying well. The next edition of History Uncorked, Eliza Brown and the Handyman, will be held Thursday, June 15th at 7 p.m. at the Steele County History Center. Eliza Brown became suspicious of the handyman's intentions toward her daughter. She took matters into her own hands and unleashed an astonishing attack, which led to the charge of attempted murder. Tickets are $10 for members, $15 for non-members, and are available for purchase at the History Center or online at www.eventbrite.com. Seating is limited. One more I think we can get in. Little Theater of Owatonna, Funny Girl coming forward. The musical, June 16 and 17, June 22, 24, 7:30 p.m., June 18, and June 25th at 2 p.m. Tickets can be gotten at the LTO box office at any time now. And that will do it for us. Please stay tuned or come back on Wednesday when we'll have an update from the Owatonna Police Department and also hear about the convenings. Thanks for being with us, and we hope you'll be back on Wednesday.